Imagine facing a wild beast in the dense woods where every single step could be your last. Every rustle in the bush could be a charging shadow. Every breath you take feels heavier, because out here, you're not the predator. You're the intruder in a land ruled by tusks, speed, and raw survival. Watch closely, because every moment, every heartbeat, and every single shot will decide whether we stand victorious or become prey ourselves. Our story begins in Mugla province, located in the southwest corner of Turkey. Most travelers know this region for its breathtaking beaches, its turquoise waters, and its lush mountainous landscapes that seem like something out of a postcard. Tourists flock here for paradise. But beyond the sunlight and sea lies a different reality one few outsiders ever witness. Hidden in the forests and valleys is a rising force of chaos, the wild boar. According to local authorities, the population of wild boar here has exploded to uncontrollable numbers. Last year alone, more than 300 hectares of farmland were destroyed. Crops that had taken months of back-breaking work, corn, olives, melons, vineyards were reduced to mud and trampled ruins overnight. Hundreds of farmers faced not only financial loss, but also the growing fear that this menace would never be stopped. The issue is complicated further by culture. In Turkey, pork is not commonly consumed, which means there is very little demand to hunt or eat these animals as food. Without this natural control, their numbers multiply at staggering rates. A single sow can produce 2 litters a year, each with 6 to 12 piglets. Do the math, and you realize how quickly a small group can turn into a destructive army. By the time you spot one, dozens more are hidden nearby, watching, waiting, surviving. This is where our journey begins. We joined a group of seasoned hunters deep in the western mountains of Darka, a hotspot where wild boar are not only abundant, but dangerously aggressive. Armed, focused, and determined, we took up our positions as the sun dipped behind the mountains, casting long shadows over the dense woodland. It didn't take long. Within minutes, we spotted the first target, a boar sprinting at full speed through the brush, moving so quickly it looked like a shadow tearing through the forest. The chase was on. Our hearts pounded as we lined up the shot. One breath, one pull, and the beast fell. Our first trophy of the day, but this was no victory lap. This was a warning, because it wasn't alone. The silence of the forest soon broke into chaos. The echoes of barking dogs filled the air, bouncing between the trees. High-pitched shrieks of boars pierced the night as the sounders moved together. Their numbers overwhelming. One by one, we faced them. Each encounter tested our focus, our skill, and our nerves. These were not timid creatures. These were muscular, battle-scarred beasts, some weighing over 150 kilograms, with tusks sharp enough to rip through flesh and bone in seconds. To face them head-on was to gamble with danger. We pushed deeper into the woods. forest floor was torn apart, mud churned into chaos, trails of destruction everywhere we looked. Roots unearthed, tree bark scarred, crops shredded. This wasn't just animal survival, it was a warpath. Following one of these dense trails, I spotted movement. A large boar, bigger than the first, cutting through the shadows. I steadied my aim, targeting a vital spot. The shot rang out. The beast collapsed. Another step forward in an endless battle. But the night was far from over. On our way back, stragglers emerged. One after another, their eyes glowing in the moonlight. These weren't mere animals. They looked like monsters, mythical beasts lurking in the forest, creatures of nightmares that refused to vanish. Each encounter demanded razor-sharp focus, steady hands, and nerves of steel. By the time we reached camp, several more had been taken down. Exhausted but alive, we counted the day's efforts as a small victory in a much larger war. But the truth is sobering. What we accomplished today is just a scratch on the surface. Wild boars are survivors in every sense of the word. They reproduce all year round, adapt to every environment, and feed on almost anything. They are intelligent enough to memorize landscapes, remember human movement patterns, and alter their paths to evade traps. They are fast, strong, and above all relentless. For farmers, the consequences are devastating. A single night raid by a sounder of wild boars can wipe out months of hard labor. Fences are torn down, irrigation systems destroyed, and orchards reduced to rubble. For villagers, the threat is personal.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.